All right, y'all, we're going to take a look at this boudoir photography business. Going to check out its local search and its city search, see if either of them or both of them or any of them got BSS. And we're back here in the GBC universe where we're taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star here is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More on that pinned post, home video, pinned video, somewhere around here. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So we got our FSIC graph here in white. Highest intent peeps on the left. These are peeps searching for both boudoir photo shoot in their city today. I focus on them and make videos about actually getting them to come to us. Here, videos about BSS. Over on the right, there's the lowest intent peeps. We talk about getting these peeps to come to us on our sister brand or sister channel, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, where we talk about BLCS. And currently over there, we only work with boudoir photographers running more than 10 grand per month in boudoir Facebook ads. So BSS, boudoir search sameness. That's when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. Both are bad. 0, extra bad. If we got 0 slots page 1, that means we're page 2 or deeper. And we know approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page 2. So if we end on page 1, we're visible to approximately 80% of searchers, approximately 80% of buyers, approximately 80% of the market, so the bulk of the market. Bad, extra bad. Also, 1 slot page 1, that ain't good enough anymore. That's bad as well, because guess what? There's 9 other organic slots page 1. Probably going to be 9 other boudoir photographers there. So everyone's got 1 slot. We're looking the same as everyone else. Not standing out, not looking special. So boudoir buyer, what they're going to do is they're just going to click down, open everyone's website, opens everyone's website up and, literally get a quote, fill out everyone's contact form, get a quote from everyone, price shop, price compare, negotiate, waste everyone's time, blah, blah, blah. And, only 10% of the time we're going to get that person to buy from us. So that other 90% of the time we're wasting it. And 0-1 slots on page 1 Google is actually not normal. It's not normal to have such a small few number of page 1 links on Google search. But it is accepted and it is, commonplace, but it's not normal. It's actually a symptom of 2 deeper root causes. And I know this is normal because I went from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google search to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google search in only 10 days utilizing this new methodology we developed. Now, these 2 deeper root causes here are 1, market saturation, 2, the false belief of page 1 equality. Market saturation, basically everyone knows about that. Over time, people get kind of new devices, new gear, new iPhone, new camera, and eventually people throw up their Google My Business profile, and then they now shoot boudoir, or they throw up their, website saying they now are a boudoir photographer, or they're posting them on Facebook groups that they now offer boudoir photo shoots. So it's more boudoir photographers competing for the same number of buyers makes it harder for every single boudoir photographer. Now, the false belief of page 1 equality, this is new to most people. Very, very, it used to be very common to accept this, very common to accept that, every boudoir photographer is, gets 0-1 slots page 1 on Google, and either you get it or you don't, and it's not much you can do about it. And even if you had 1 slot on page 1 on Google, well, maybe there's some market saturation and that slot, that slot goes away, or, then you go down to page 2. Well, you got to kind of hope those people leave the market and then hope Google puts you back on page 1. So it's kind of like a learned helplessness belief, but it's not true. We've learned it's not true because, again, I went from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 Google search to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google search in only 10 days. So we know the false belief page 1 equality. Now we know that it is exactly that, a false belief. We also know that a boudoir photographer with BSS is a disappearing boudoir photographer, DBP. And yeah, dude, if we're on page 2 or deeper, we're invisible to approximately 80% of the marketplace. If we're on page, and if we're on page 1, everyone else has got 1 slot on, all the other 9 competitors got 1 slot as well. So we're essentially invisible as well. So if we're on page 2 or deeper, we're dying fast. If we're on page 1 with 1 slot, we're dying slow. For both cases, we're disappearing boudoir photographer, which actually is kind of like the warning light, the red flag, the canary in the coal mine that tells us our boudoir photography business itself is actually on the path to disappearing. It's now starting down that path. Thankfully, we have discovered a solution though. We've discovered that BSS is treated with social search saturation, aka S-cubed methodology. And it works exactly as it says. You know, we saturate social search with the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords, making sure that we show up there. And what this acts like is basically like the snow at the top of the Andes Mountains, the eastern side, the backside of these Andes Mountains down in South America. The snow up there, what it does is it, all year it's melting into streams, melting, the streams, small streams, flow into small rivers, but it all eventually comes to be collected in the Amazon River. That's where all the water actually comes from. And that page one on Google search is the Amazon River, but we got to first stuff, SQ methodology. We got to first saturate, do social search saturation, put the snow up there at the top of the mountain, so then all those videos, links can flow onto page one in Google search. And this is the only solution I've seen for boudoir photographers that can actually enable them to grow during periods where the market's getting more and more saturated every day, and give them that opportunity in a relatively quick time frame. The only other solution I've seen allow people to do that is having a large, well-known brand, but that takes on average, 5 to 10 years. We ain't got 5 to 10 years anymore, dude. AI is here. We need results. We need a opportunity ASAP. And actually, interestingly enough, S-cube methodology, by my estimates, can actually help those actually build a large, well-known brand approximately 8x faster than all these other kind of standard ways of doing it, just because we're doing more volume on more surfaces and showing up in the right places way more often over time. It's kind of like a double bonus of utilizing S-cube methodology. So example now. All right, so we are right now going to, we're going to Boise, Idaho. And there are 1 million boudoir photographers in Boise, Idaho. We're one of them. Everyone's got a website saying they do boudoir photography. And as a result, everyone's website's trying to rank page one on Google as much as possible. Ultra competitive. We're like, man, we ain't got no large, well-known brand. Literally the only thing left that allows us to compete effectively is S-cubed methodology. So we decided to crank it to the max, like way more than average boudoir photographer would. And let's say we're taking up the first, 300 slots of social search across all the social platforms, and then that flows onto Google search. And let's say we're taking up the first 300 organic slots on Google. Well, it's 10 organic slots, per page on Google. So we're literally taking basically the first 30 pages of Google. So whenever a boudoir buyer searches for us anywhere digitally, we basically got like the first 300 slots to ourselves. So we are, basically like, we're basically the only one they can find, whether they're searching social media, they're searching Google, basically the only one they can find. So in this case, they'd have to, scroll to slot 301, or would that be on Google page 31 to find us? And so in this case, whose business is growing? Whose boudoir photography business is growing? Most likely only ours, because we're basically the only one that can be found by buyers. And whose boudoir photography businesses are dying, disappearing, going invisible? Well, most likely the other 999,999 boudoir photographers competing against us in Boise, Idaho. And so this is, kind of an ultra example of what S-cube methodology, kind of the opportunity it could give to a boudoir photography business, but this is like an ultra extreme version, ultra extreme example version. Now, once treated with S-cube methodology, we have page one visibility. So yeah, we're getting more links page one Google search. And the second initial benefit we're getting is every new link we get on page one Google search, good for us. And we're actually kicking a competing boudoir photographer off page one, effectively making them invisible. This is awesome. So we can literally control how many of our competitors are on page one of Google search are not organic by our effort in acquiring these organic Google slots. And it's good because these slots have some momentum, not infinite momentum, but they do have some momentum. Unlike Google PPC ads or any ads, that momentum goes to zero the instant you stop paying for them. And let's see. Yeah, so a lot of boudoir photographers like this. They're like kick their competitors off. And page one visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us BSV. This is where the GBC universe recommends hitting a minimum or having a minimum of 3 out of 10 slots page one Google search as the minimum. More is obviously better, but that's because basically every other boudoir photographer is going to have one slot each on page one. So if we got 3, we're dominating. Everyone else has got 1. We're actually standing out, actually looking unique. And the super rare train, someone has 2. Well, we still got 3, so we're dominating them as well. So we're basically kind of dominating in all scenarios here. We also know that boudoir photographer with BSV is a visible boudoir photographer, a VBP. So this is our micro universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with BSS boudoir search sameness is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and the false belief of page one equality. Thankfully, we now have a solution. Thank the universe. SQ'd methodology. We use that to achieve page one visibility, become a visible boudoir photographer, and have boudoir search visibility. All right, so now my results utilizing SQ'd methodology. So I actually wanted to rank for this keyword, well, I want to dominate page one for this keyword, BLCS boudoir. So I went to work purely utilizing SQ'd methodology and see my results. We're going down the organic slots. So organic slot 1, Instagram, me. Slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. And so I went from 0 to 10 slots, Google page 1, to 9 out of 10 slots, Google page 1 search in only 10 days, purely utilizing SQ'd methodology. Now, main event here, main course, main feast. We're going to see if this boudoir photography business has BSS for its local search, Louisville, North Carolina, or its city, kind of close to city search. All right, so first the local search, Louisville, North Carolina. And let's see, go down the organic slot. So they got 1. They got, man, this actually looks a lot different than I'm used to. We got 2, we got 3, we got 4, we got 5. All right, awesome. So 5 out of 10. Great. So we do not have BSS for the local search, and we are hitting the GBC recommended minimum of at least 3 out of 10 page one slots on Google. So awesome for that. Now we'll go to the city search, kind of the closest city nearby I could find. Let's see. All right, we got 1. And all right, looks like that's it. That's it. We got 1. So we got local search, did awesome. City search, we got 1 out of 10 slots, page 1 on Google. So we do have BSS, boudoir search sameness. And we did not hit the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 page 1 slots on Google. So if you are a disappearing boudoir photographer, you realize now you got BSS, you do your local search, you do your city search. You now understand what the false belief of page 1 equality is, or a lot of people have never even thought about it before, kind of accept it as normal. So there wasn't really, again, a phrase or a word to describe it. But now people are like, oh yeah, that definitely doesn't make any sense to automatically assume page 1 equality is normal or kind of default. So yeah, definitely a false belief. And you understand market saturation, how it's been, slowly, people get new iPhones, new gear. But now you see AI. You see AI actually putting people out of work, taking people's jobs. And so you see most likely there's going to be an additional increase in boudoir photographers caused by AI, people losing their jobs, having to generate income. So it's not people only get a new iPhone or only get a new camera now. There's going to be a mass, see AI, you believe there's going to be a massive influx of actually new people entering as boudoir photographers, more supply of boudoir photographers fighting for the same number of buyers. And you see that's coming, and you assume it's only ever going to keep increasing as AI takes more and more and more jobs. There's more and more boudoir photographers being forced to enter the market to earn income. And you're saying, okay, well, ads, you pay for ads, they work, they don't work, they're not permanent. You stop spending, they stop existing. Ads is only like, text ads, one slot, local service ad, one slot. If you can even get approved for local service ads. And there's no real staying momentum there. If you stop paying, it stops existing, you stop existing. And so your CNS cubed methodology, you can see it can actually give momentum to having more links on page one, basically as many links as we want to put the work in to acquire. Has much more momentum than ads. And so you're seeing S cubed methodology like, boom, this is what I want. I want to achieve page one visibility in preparation of all the kind of new boudoir photographers going to enter the market because AI is going to be taking tons of people's jobs. And you want to make sure you stay a visible boudoir photographer, even more visible, achieve boudoir search visibility, hit the GBC minimum, 3 out of 10 for local search and city search. And you also want the extra bonuses on the back end from using S cubed methodology, which is, we're basically creating thematic keyword pillars around our brand for social search to know and understand, Google search to know and understand, and for all the AIs to know and understand, which means every new thing we rank for, or new keyword or more of the same keyword that we rank more and more for, it's building this thematic keyword pillar around our name, around our brand, which increases the probability we get recommended for AI search. AI overview at the top of Google and AI search like ChatGPT search, searching best boudoir photographer in whatever, Fayetteville, Arkansas. ChatGPT search, Microsoft Copilot search, Google Gemini search, Claude search, Perplexity search. And we're literally seeing, so you're seeing that. And the final thing you're seeing is, man, if someone else hops onto this in your city first, kind of takes the first action, works with me on it, then, my plan right now is to only work with one person per city. So you'd have to recreate S cubed methodology, re-engineer our proprietary methodology. So you have to figure out how to do it right first. And then if we're already working with someone else, you'd have to kind of, if you equal our output, when you'd have to do it correctly, then you would kind of maintain a laggard place behind us while we're eating up those page one Google search, getting the thematic keyword pillars for our brand for AI search to be recommended, because more and more search is going to AI. Dude, I haven't done a standard Google search in like maybe a year. I use the AI mode. I literally don't try to go look for anything, type on links to read anything. But basically, to build up that momentum, actually to pass us, you'd have to exceed our capacity all on your own. And so you're like, screw that, I'd rather be the first mover, prep myself for more boudoir photographers coming in because of AI taking people's jobs, start building up my momentum, back in momentum AI search, kick my competitors out or potential future competitors out by dominating the highest intent keywords. Because you need to do this in order to become the #1 boudoir photographer in your city. Then shoot me a DM when I open up for new patient intake. The hospital is not open right now. The hospital is closed. But when I do open up for new patient intake, shoot me a DM and we will see if you qualify for using S cubed methodology.